Good morning, everyone. Today we would like to discuss about one of our very important subject. Um, that is very important topic in the fourth unit. That is groundwater quality and its contamination. So if you see here, first of all, I want to define what is meant by contamination. Contamination is nothing but we are also call it as it is one type of pollution. I will give an example. For example, there is a groundwater. If the groundwater is going to be included any contaminants like pollutants, then we can call it as a groundwater contamination. And also we are saying that groundwater quality, that means what are the parameters of the water quality, the drinking standard should be there. So likewise we are discussing what are the qualities of the groundwater should be there, and how the contamination, what are the types of sources of contamination. Likewise we'll discuss these all those things in this session. And now if you see here, there is an introduction to the groundwater. So there is first of all we want to define what is meant by groundwater here. So groundwater is nothing but the water which is existing below the surface. We can call it as a groundwater. Then we are actually the groundwater, most of the groundwater is going to be utilized for drinking purpose, and as well as irrigation, and as well as industrial use. And there is a different factors is going to be affecting the groundwater quality. That is geology, that means what type of soils are there, and based on the type of soils are existing, and maybe salty soils also is going to be existed, then it's going to be affecting the qualities of the groundwater. And there will be a hydrology, so that means rainwater is going to be occurred continuously, then you got a good amount of the groundwater availability is there. Then automatically contamination conditions are very less in the conditions, and saving human activity is also one of the main factors which is going to be affecting the qualities of the groundwater. So here human activity is nothing but we are going to be release the wastewater into the drainages directly without any treatment. Then this drainage water is going to be contaminating, there will be a groundwater. So likewise various human activities, not only the drainages, even if you are throwing the waste in outside, then it is also going to be creating a contamination. And if you know that there is an open dumping systems are there, the waste management open dumping, it is also going to be created actually. So in that how it is going to be contaminated, I will explain here. For example, if you go with that, there is a collection of the waste in the municipalities from various sources, we are going to be thrown outside as in a open dumping system. So if the rain comes at that location, then automatically here there will be that it going to be touches the waste over that soil, and then the soil water is going to be slowly penetrate into the through the waste, and then it is reaches to the ground and entered into the groundwater. But along with the water there will be pollutants also going to be entered into the ground, then it is going to be contaminated. Likewise, if you throw the waste without any proper waste management, also it is going to be contaminated. So likewise there is a different factors is going to be affecting the qualities of the groundwater. And then if you know that there will be the groundwater quality parameters are there here, there is a physical parameters we are going to be considered, and then chemical parameters we are going to be considered, and the biological parameters we are going to be considered. Coming to the physical parameters, the temperature, and then turbidity and the color, if it is having the more actually the good quality of the water, there is a colorless actually. If it is having the more color, means definitely there will be a contaminations are existed. And the water, there is a fuel smells, that the water is going to be getting different smells, then we don't want to recommend that water into the as in a drinking water, even though for industrial sake also. So likewise the water, that physical parameters we are going to be considered here only. There will be a temperature and the turbidity and the color and the odor we are going to be considered. And then the next one, there will be a there will be an NH1, there will be an chemical parameters we are going to be considered, that is in a pH value. Generally the pH value is there in 6.5 to 8.5 for the drinking water as per the standards. If it is 7, we can call it as a neutral. Then if the groundwater is having the pH value, and next one is a TDS. TDS means a total dissolved solids, and then these total dissolved solids, it is having the groundwater's content is having the salt content, the TDS are presented, and the hardness is there. There will be two types of hardness, magnesium and calcium chloride hardness is there. So likewise heavy metals are is also presented, and then we are also going to be get the contamination, and then nitrates are is also going to be presented. Apart from these, there will be any fluoride content. So like Nalgonda area is having the different excess of the fluoride content because of the rock formation itself. So we are going to be know that it is also called as one of the problem, that's in a chemical parameter we are going to be considered. And coming to that next one, there will be a biological bacteria, there will be a virus or pathogenics or maybe E. coli, this kind of bacteria is presented, it's very harmful. So I want to give an example. Pathogenic means it's an harmful bacteria, and virus is also one of the harmful bacteria. Generally we are going to be know that that certain people are getting diarrhea in the particular reason because of this bacteria only. We are getting the diarrhea in the total circular area. So I will give the one best example regarding a practical example regarding the if the virus or bacteria is presented in that. So generally what is happen in it is happen in the Guntur actually, in the Guntur town, one of the area. So they are going to be suffer with that diarrhea because, and so many people are died also because that one monkey is going to be died in that particular one sump of the water distribution system. And because of this monkey dead body, it's going to be generating a virus and all those things. And then the people are is going to be drinking that water, it's going to be created a lot of problem for the public at that area. Because what is the reason they are getting the diarrhea? Because the water is contaminated with virus or bacteria or pathogenic, because of these dead animals are is going to be died. So at that locations we are going to be get this kind of all those things. And then if you see that there will be a water quality standards are is there. So we have two types of water quality, national and international water standards, that is in WHO, that is World Health Organization, and Bureau of Indian Standards for the drinking water. And that effect of the exceed limits, it's going to be get a fluoride, nitrites and arsenic. So these are the affecting that exceeding the limits actually. And then if you see here, there is a sources of the groundwater. So that natural is there, and same human induced is there. Contamination here I want to discuss in the natural. So fluoride. So generally I am discussing that Nalgonda is contaminated the fluoride. What is the reason? Because rock formation itself, there will be there is a fluoride formation is going to be get. That is only one of the reason the Nalgonda people is facing the problem regarding the fluoride content. And coming to that salinity, that it may containing the salt content. And then this is 2 or 3 we can call it as a natural contamination. And next there will be a human induced contamination is there. There will be an agricultural contamination and industrial contamination, and sewage and non-filling contamination is there. So coming to that agriculture contamination, so generally that farmers are using different kind of chemicals or maybe fertilizers to grow their fields or lands, then to get in a good output. But what is happened, they are merging these fertilizers or chemical fertilizers into the water, but this water is not going to be consumed by the trees only, it's also going to be entered into the groundwater. Likewise the groundwater is contaminated with these chemicals that utilized for the agriculture purpose. And industrials also, that I will give one more best examples regarding industries. There will be a pharmaceutical industries, they are going to release the wastewater into the streams directly, then it is also going to be contaminating the groundwater. So in this occasion I want to explain one of the movie, the Kaleja. In that Kaleja, that what is happened, villain, they are going to release the contaminated chemicals into the streams, then and the peoples are drinking that contaminated water. They are struggling with that, and this streams is contaminated, means that under the groundwater in the streams also going to be contaminated. Likewise, the industries are releasing the wastewater into the streams, and the streams is going to be contaminated, and then because of the stream, under the stream there will groundwater is going to be contaminated with these pollutants. And similarly, landfillings, and generally we discussing that starting with an example. So that landfillings may be open dumping or maybe closed dumping. Even landfillings are two types is there actually. Open landfilling is there, and under landfilling is there. So if it is an under landfilling, we are making excavating the natural soils, and we need to fill with the waste, and then one layer of the soil we are going to be placing, and one layer of the waste we are going to be placing. Likewise, a sandwich manner we are going to be place the waste, but what is happening, it's going to be degraded. But when the rainfall is occurred at that area, it's going to be contaminated this groundwater, because totally its presence of the waste is existed below the groundwater. And the next one, we are going to be discuss about the types of the groundwater contamination: chemical contamination, biological contamination, radioactivity contamination, and maybe salinity issues also is there. So coming to that radioactivity, I want to explain that Japan, the total countries, they are going to be utilizing there will be a power plant actually. So there is a uranium power plants they are going to be utilizing for the as a power sources to supply power to the various states in the country in the Japan. So likewise, what is happened, that water is contaminated with the uranium, and then this water is going to be getting that contaminating the groundwater. Likewise, we have a uranium sources are is going to be contaminated the groundwater. We can call it as a radioactivity contamination. Already we discussing that chemical contamination, biological contamination. Coming to that salinity issues, there will be a salt content. I will give one example regarding that because it is also happen in the Guntur area. One of that name called area name called Autonagar. This Autonagar is various industries and automobile industries and chemical industries are existed, and this stream water is going to be, that waste water is going to be traveled in the particular village, and then this village groundwater is contaminated, and finally the totally highest TDS value we are getting at particular reason, because this wastewater generated from the Autonagar area is going to be traveled in the particular village. It may be getting that there will be a contamination. Likewise, there is a salinity issues because of this contamination. And coming to that, next one is an effects of the groundwater contaminated. So if it is groundwater is going to be affected, we got a fluorosis in the Nalgonda, heavy metal poisoning infections are is going to be takes place. We are generally be discussing blood infection we are getting, or maybe fluorosis we are getting. What is the reason? Because of if you take any drinking water, it contaminated, means automatically we got a blood contamination because of the water only, because in the blood there will be most of thing is water is only existed. If the water is contaminated, the blood is also contaminated. If you drink the contaminated water into as a drinking water, it's going to be affecting the there will be a poisoning of infections like blood contamination. And if you contaminated with a fluoride, if you drinking as a things, then there will be a fluorosis is going to be there in that particular thing. And coming to that next one, there will be an environmental effects is there. There is a loss of biodiversity and soil degradation. And then next one is an economic is also going to be affected. Water treatment cost is going to be increases. The losses of the drinking water is also going to be there here. And the next one, the preventions and the control measures is going to be discussed. So if you want to prevent, there will be a proper waste disposal system. We need to adapt it, and at the same time, there are eco-friendly fertilizers and pesticides we are going to be utilizing. Instead of using the chemical fertilizers, we are going to be utilizing the natural fertilizers and natural fertilizers and pesticides, like a organic irrigation system. Like we are going to be adopting or taking that kind of sources, then automatically what is happen here, the rainwater harvesting recharges techniques also we are going to be discuss, and at same time the monitoring also we are going to be done here. So it going to be utilizing or useful for us to reduce the contaminated sources in the various aspects. And then if you see here, there will be case studies of the groundwater contamination. So this is things are I'm going to be discussed, but what I'm going to be discussed during my section, we are also going to be write that there is also practical examples and case studies regarding. And this is a conclusion I want to give here. So this groundwater is a very crucial source that must be protected, and regular monitoring and sustainable practices are key to maintaining the groundwater quality. And thank you. And these are all reference I'm going to be collected from various sources to present this presentation. And thank you so much.